Boo! At the open, all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy.
Now, what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up half.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this. Becky quick. While the average man looking at it's sad like she fine as yeah. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like yeah, 5'6". I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot keys. Strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater. Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounces. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, open up some commas. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trick and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. and I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up watching them hands, make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Suge, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits.
Hey, yo. What's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading of live stream. Hope you all are doing well. Wild, crazy day in the markets today as the market sell-off continues. The market started a sell-off last week, and that has continued here into today because of a ton of uncertainty. And I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I was trying to get the sneeze out before I came on the live stream, and I'm just like, it couldn't come out. It's sitting right there. I want to get that damn sneeze out. The sneeze is sitting right there. We're waiting for it, just like we're waiting for the first trade deal that the markets have been waiting for. A lot happened over the weekend. A lot happened from my live stream last night into this morning with China specifically, and some further comments from Trump regarding Jerome Powell. A lot changed. A lot happened between my last live stream with you guys and today. When you got a down day in the markets, around 2.5% down day in the markets. Futures trading higher right now in the after hours, up about 0.4%, 0.45 on the S&P and on the NASDAQ. We had a nice little rally into the close, or into the after hours close. So into the 8 p.m. Eastern close, we had a nice little rally in the SPY. We popped around 2 points on the SPY and ran up there a little, had a nice little rally in the futures as well. I know some of our THD members that are part of the futures program. I know you guys are trading futures right now. I saw some of you were actually talking about the move in the futures and being able to capitalize on that move. So congratulations to each and every single one of you. But I want to talk about a lot of stuff with you guys in this live stream tonight. It's a late live stream tonight. It's 9:00. I got busy with a bunch of other stuff, but I did want to come on here and kind of talk to you guys and explain some of the things that I saw today in the market, because it was telling. What I saw today was pretty telling. And then we have earnings that are coming up tomorrow. We got Tesla's earnings. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking tomorrow, as well as a couple other Fed members. And we are anxiously waiting for the first trade deal. And I think I know who it's going to be with. Okay. I think I know who the first trade. Buy gold, pop basketball. Not now, man. Not now. Gold has just literally gone parabolic. I was actually considering taking some profit on my GLD position. I've been holding GLD since January of 2024. It was my number one commodity pick into your trading group for the long-term portfolio in 2024. And it's been just an unbelievable move that we've experienced. So right here is when I bought it. I still can't believe it. Right there is when I bought it in January of 2024. And the thing is just absolutely lit the world on fire. But this is a parabolic move. Like, that is a parabolic move. And I would say that you're probably pretty damn close to a short-term top. Not a long-term top, but like nothing goes up in a straight line. Like, you probably get a little pullback like this, or, you probably get, a little bit of a pullback like this, or a pullback like this. Like, things don't go up in straight lines, this is getting parabolic. Maybe there's a little bit more upside, and then you probably pull back and get a little bit take a little bit of a breather, maybe pull back into I'd say maybe 300 or so and kind of close some of these gaps. You have these, this is the GLD. This is not the price of gold itself. I don't have my futures up right now to show you the actual price of gold, but this is just the GLD trust, which tracks the price of gold. It's not actually the price of gold. As you can see, this is only $316 a share on the GLD, but this is a parabolic move. You definitely don't want to be buying something here. Okay. You don't want to be buying something there. You want to be taking profit on something there. You wait for a pullback. I still do like gold, but it is getting parabolic. It's not something that I would buy at this time. But with that being said, I have an idea on who I think the first trade deal is going to be with. And we're going to talk about that here today, and we're going to talk about some trade ideas that we can look at for that specifically. Okay. So, and of course, I want to cover with you guys Tesla's earnings, what I expect from Tesla's earnings tomorrow, and how we can trade it, because I have a very specific trade idea and trading plan with Tesla that I think we're going to be able to capitalize on for the remainder of this week. So we'll talk about that here as well. Okay. Now, before I get into all this, I just realized that I just kind of started talking. I didn't tell you guys anything about who the hell I am. My name is Michael Edward Parinati. I go by Michael Edward. I'm the co-founder and the head trader at True Trading Group. For those that don't know, TTG actually received the Benzinga FinTech Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. So for those of you that are looking for AI analysis, whether it's a trading assistant and trading co-pilot, or if it is a deep research answer engine, we have it all here at True Trading Group that is specifically fine-tuned for finance and stocks and investing. There we are, my business partner and I, actually on stage at the Benzinga Global FinTech Awards ceremony, receiving that award. So it was a real honor. And it's nice to see industry leaders recognizing True Trading Group for what it is that we are doing, implementing AI technology into retail trading to help our members make money and help our members become better traders. Okay. So, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, look no further. We actually have an award-winning tool that thousands of traders, retail traders, are now using and implementing into their retail trading. But it's not just about awards at True Trading Group. We are also the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, individual mentorship and coaching for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We day trade, we swing trade. We also cover long-term investing. There's something for everybody here at Your Trading Group. And if you're wondering why I should listen to anything it is that I discuss on this channel, it's not because I think that I'm the world's greatest trader. I'm a damn good one, but I'm certainly not the best. The reason why I think you guys should pay attention to what I discuss on this live stream and on this YouTube channel is because I didn't figure this stuff out on my own. I didn't have to watch YouTube videos and sit in Discord chats. I began my trading career working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City. My first job right out of college, they had me go through a training program before they let me touch $1 of the fund's money. And then 2008 happened. That was the Great Recession, the big stock market crash, but also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group, along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading mods and an over 30-person staff. We have helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. We have over 10,000 members in 114 different countries, truly a global community here at True Trading Group. So if you are new to the channel, welcome, subscribe, smash that like button, show some love, turn on your notifications, make sure you never miss out on these live streams. We are dropping golden nuggets on a regular basis. I give you guys free analysis, trade ideas, commentary, you name it, we give it. I tell you trades I'm getting into, trades I'm already in, what I think the markets are going to do in the days to come. I'm not a Monday morning quarterback. I don't just come on here and say, this is what happened earlier today. I talk about what I think is going to happen tomorrow and the weeks, the days and the weeks after that. Okay. What is the future of NVIDIA? The future of NVIDIA, I think, is a bright one. NVIDIA is going through some tough times right now, but I'm still bullish on NVIDIA. And I do not believe that NVIDIA's best days are behind them. NVIDIA has a lot of headwinds right now, as do a lot of companies have a lot of headwinds right now. The economy has a lot of headwinds right now, but fast forward a couple of years from now, and I firmly and strongly believe that NVIDIA share price is significantly higher than it is today. If you were to fast forward just a few years from now, might not feel like it right now because everything's been moving to the downside, but I got news for you guys, folks. I really do. I have news for you. Whether or not we have a recession does not change the statement that I'm about to say to you. When stocks go down significantly, and I mean when stocks go down significantly, it's usually a pretty damn good idea to start buying some of the best companies on planet Earth. And every single time the markets go down, I get the same exact comments, I get the same exact people that are going to be like, oh, no, this is it. This is it. The market's never going to go up ever again. This is it. This is it. This is the end of the world. It's the end of all days. It's the end of the United States economy as we know it. And the stock market's never going to go up ever again. It's going to put in the high that was put in this year is the high that's going to be there until I'm 90 years old. And the stock market's never going to make another new high ever again for as long as we live. It's not true. It's not true. We have over 125 years of data that we can go back and we can look at. And the reality of the situation is that when markets crash, and we experienced a bit of a crash in April. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We experienced a bit of a crash. You got the bear market territory on the NASDAQ. You got the bear market territory on the S&P. You got the bear market territory on the Russell. You got the bear market territory across everything that you're looking at. You got individual stocks down 40, 50% from their highs. And can we go lower? You bet your ass we can go lower. Okay. You bet your ass we can go lower. And I tell you, from what I saw today, the markets are expecting us to go lower. And they're expecting us to go lower, because of the possibility and the rising possibility of recession. Okay. And that's what everybody's talking about. And that's the concern. And it's possible that we have one. And if that's the case, the markets are going to go down more from where they are now. And that's going to be a really good buying opportunity for the long term. If you believe that AI technology is going to revolutionize the world as we know it, if you believe in the future of AI technology and the advancement and the efficiencies and the profitability and the growth that technology is going to light, then you have to say to yourself, a company like Nvidia is going to be at the forefront of that, as they already are. Yes, Nvidia has issues right now because of the restrictions with their chips into China and the tariff news and everything else, but that stuff is not going to be here forever. Nvidia is not going to have a ban into sell into China forever. Okay, the tariff situation, the trade war is not going to be here forever. Eventually, we will move past it, and eventually you'll be able to look at, Nvidia trading itself back to 120s, 130s, 140s eventually. But right now, it's getting the crap kicked out of it. And rightfully so, it should be getting the crap kicked out of it because semiconductor stocks are very cyclical. Semiconductors go up and down as the economy expands or retracts. The economy accelerates or it slows. Semiconductors are very, very, very cyclical. And then you add on top of that, not being able to sell not only their H100s and their high-end chips and their Blackwell and everything else, but they're also now not able to sell their H20s, which are the lower-end chips. They can't even sell those into China. And then Huawei came out, and Huawei's like, well, shit, we're going to take advantage of this. So they actually announced that Huawei was going to be actually ramping up production for their own high-end semiconductor chips to be able to meet the demand for the Nvidia chips that are now there's going to be a hole for those high-end chips in China. And Huawei said that beginning next month, they're going to be able to begin delivery of their own high-end chips so they can fill some of that void. So yes, there is competition. Nvidia has competition. Nvidia has issues right now, but I still believe very strongly in that company in the long run. I still do. I still own Nvidia. I've owned it. My first purchase was 2018, but it was small. My real first purchase was 2020, and then I bought it every single year since. I bought it in 2021. I bought it in 2022. I bought it in 2023. I bought it in 2024. And then I recently just bought it on April 7th of this year. Okay. So, I think that I think Nvidia is going to be just fine. Okay. But I digress. I go back. Right. So a lot to talk about here today about the overall markets and the news that sent the markets selling off again today. Bitcoin's also ripping right now as we speak here. So Bitcoin's starting to move again. A strong day for Bitcoin. It was a strong day for Bitcoin today. And it is starting to move higher again. But anyway, I'll get back off of gold, and we'll get back over to the overall markets. And so, what happened to the markets today? Why do we have such a big pullback in the market today? And really, what it comes down to, guys, is one word, and it's the word of the year. Honestly, if you ask me to sum up 2025 in one word, it is the year of uncertainty. and nobody has any idea what the hell is going to go on. Nobody knows what's going to happen with these tariffs. Nobody knows what's going to happen with these trade wars. And that takes me to part of the reason why the market sold off today. China came out with a comment that really made the market say, "Oh crap, maybe we are further away from trade agreements than anybody really wants to admit." And that is because as of yesterday, before China made these comments, and I'll tell you what those comments are in a second. But as of yesterday, it was just the US and China. China was retaliating against the United States. They were raising their tariffs against the United States while the United States puts tariffs on China. It was all about China and the United States. Now it looks like China came out and said, in the meantime, it looks like small and mid caps are finally getting some traction. Yeah, small caps have actually traded. When we say small caps, you're not talking about the Russell, though. I would imagine you're probably not talking about the Russell. You're probably talking about penny stocks, or the $1, $2, $3 type stocks, and they have been trading very, very well as of late, right? So that is something that has provided a lot of really great opportunity in small and mid cap land. Okay, it has. And they heated up, I'd say, a couple of weeks ago. And they get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold. But right now, I'd say small caps are hot. Okay. I lost my train of thought before I answered that question. Oh, China. That's what I was talking about. China. I was talking about China. Okay. So what I was talking about China was China came out and said, any country that makes a trade agreement with the United States that harms China said they're going to retaliate against that country too. Read the room, China. You are the problem. Okay. You literally are the problem when it comes to trade. They're really the one that that the United States cares about. It's really the one that when everyone talks about how unfair the United States is treated with trade, and it is true, the United States is treated incredibly unfairly when it comes to global trade. And you can go back, it's not even a political thing. You can go back over the last 30 years and you'll see Democrats and Republicans alike all saying, very prominent Democrats, very prominent Republicans throughout the last 30 years saying that the way the United States is treated on a global scale when it comes to trade is incredibly unfair. And that part of it is true. But the country that is the absolute worst, and it's not even close, is China. Okay? It's China. And it's really what the market cares about most. Yes, the market cares about the European Union. That's the second biggest thing the markets probably care about. Third biggest thing the markets care about as far as trade partners would be, first it's China, then it's the European Union, and then it's probably a pretty even split between like Canada, Mexico, and Japan. I'd say those are probably fighting it out for third as far as level of importance that at least that the market is going to look at from a trading standpoint. But that news and that comment from China made people feel like getting really good trade agreements and getting good trade deals might be harder than people might have thought with the other countries. Everybody knows that the deal with China is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be an extremely complex negotiation. It's going to take a very long time for there to be any type of a deal. We saw the playbook what happened in 2018 when we had our first round of a new trade deal between the US and China. That trade deal that was renegotiated, that took several months in 2018, and it created a ton of volatility in the meantime. It created a ton of volatility in 2018, and it's creating a ton of volatility now, even more volatility now, because in 2018, it was just China. Now it's everybody. Okay. Now it's everybody. So, those comments from China from last night, and that's what changed between my conversation with you guys yesterday. I came on this live stream yesterday, and I told you guys that I was actually coming into the week saying, listen, as long as we're above 520 on the SPY, I'm looking for us to try to bounce. What happened? China came out with those comments over in the overnight session while we go to sleep and China wakes up. China came out with those comments, pushed the markets down lower. We opened up right at 520, and then we dropped underneath it. And then once you dropped underneath it, that's when I told you guys yesterday, I would say, listen, as long as we're above 520, I'm looking for the markets to bounce. I wouldn't go short until we break 520 and really clear out like 518.50. Then I think you'd be good for the short. And that's what happened today. And a lot of our members were able to capitalize on the move to the downside today. It doesn't necessarily matter, okay, that, you know, we're coming into the day today and I'm saying, hey, I told you guys yesterday I'm looking for the market to try to bounce. It doesn't necessarily matter because I got to be honest with you guys. You have to be flexible. In an environment like this, you have to be flexible. You can't be stubborn with any of your analysis because one tweet, one comment from China, one comment from the White House could change the entire direction of the market like that. This is not the market environment for you to try to be a hero and try to make some like wild, bold, crazy, futuristic, psychic prediction on what's going to happen because you don't know. You might think you know, and whether you think you know or not is probably really just you showing your political view. You probably think the market's going to crash if you hate Donald Trump. You probably think the market's going to go higher if you like Donald Trump. And that's the reality of the situation that people have kind of found themselves in right now. Don't do it. Save that stuff for Facebook. You have all the power to you on Facebook, and you'll talk about with all your friends on Facebook and your family members and everybody how much you love or hate Donald Trump, okay? Nobody cares when it comes to the stock market. All we care about is how could we make money from it, okay? That's all I care about. How can I make money from what's happening? I have zero control over what is taking place. It doesn't matter whether or not you agree or disagree with what's happening with trade deals and tariffs and everything else. What matters and our job is to figure out how do I make money from what's going on? And you have to be willing in an environment like this to not try to predict the future, but try to say to yourself, listen, I need to be nimble. I have to be flexible. I can't be stubborn with my analysis. I have my analysis. I have my thoughts. I have my levels. I have my trade setups. But if something happens that changes that, you also have to change. You can't just stay in your ways. You have to recognize when something is changing. And those comments from China last night changed things coming into today. And then you had more comments from Donald Trump about Jerome Powell. Okay, really attacking Jerome Powell today with some comments. I mean, there was the conversations last week about, you know, possibly, you know, can he or can he not fire him? And I'm not asking you. I don't need everyone to answer, well, technically he can't, blah, 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 blah. I don't need you to answer. I'm saying that was the thought process from last week where people were talking about if he was going to try to fire Jerome Powell, and he made more comments towards Jerome Powell today, and the markets really, really, really don't like it. Okay. The markets really don't like because it's not because the markets love Jerome Powell so much and they don't want to see Jerome Powell go. It's not because they hate whoever would replace Jerome Powell so much and they don't want to see that person come into that position. The reason why the markets don't like it is because of, again, one word, uncertainty. It creates a tremendous amount of uncertainty if something like that were to happen. It doesn't matter if it was Jerome Powell, if it was Ben Bernanke, it doesn't matter if it was Alan Greenspan, it doesn't matter who it is. It's just the uncertainty of something like that happening. The markets don't like it. And with all the uncertainty surrounding tariffs, the market also doesn't want the uncertainty around who is going to be running the literally the most important job in the country. I'd even argue it's the most important job in the world is who controls the central bank, who controls the Federal Reserve here in the United States, because their monetary policy sends shockwaves and ripples throughout the world. The actions of the Federal Reserve affect and impact other countries' economies and other central bank actions. So you don't want uncertainty around that, around who's going to be at the helm there. That's why the markets don't like it. And when those two things happened today, the market sold off. And I take a look around and I ask myself, well, what is going to get this to turn around? It's not going to come from just it can't be just an update with no substance. I don't think simply saying, oh yeah, negotiations with this country and that country is going well, right? That the negotiations are going well. That's not enough. We got that today. We got comments today from Trump saying that, negotiations are going well. We're going to get a good deal with Europe. A lot of countries are negotiating with us. We got some great things going on. Markets didn't care. The market continues to sell off today. Hopes of a deal with Russia, Ukraine, markets don't care. Okay. It's either deal or nothing. It's all or nothing at this point in order to turn this market around, because it's a race against the clock. Okay. It is a race against the clock. How long can the U.S. economy hold? How long can the labor market hold while you have all of the uncertainty around tariffs? Because what ends up happening is uncertainty by itself can lead you into a recession. Uncertainty would result in business CEOs not spending money, not reinvesting money at the pace that they wanted to, because they don't know what the future looks like. They don't know what their costs are going to look like. So what do? They stop spending and they look to cut costs and they lay people off. That's what businesses do as business slows. They literally go and they start cutting back costs. And that is then when you'll start to see the unemployment rate begin to tick higher. So you could literally just uncertainty yourself into a recession. It's a race against the clock. That's why the speed in which new trade agreements are made matters, and they have to be done quickly. And the comments today from China makes the markets feel like they're not going to be done quickly, because before a country makes an agreement with the United States, they need to now consider, well, what's China's retaliation going to be against us if this new deal is going to make it harder for China? That's why. Okay, that's why. Good news, markets held a key support level today, which is 510 on the SPY. Okay, that was your previous little pivot low that we had here from the day after the 90-day tariff pause. So we did actually hold this support level, which was your next support. I told you guys in the live stream yesterday that 520 was a support level. And I said, if you break 520, you're probably good for the short. Okay, you broke 520, you were good for the short. You went right into next support level, which is 510. And that was and is still currently your next support level. Okay. And then after that, you don't really have any other major support levels until you then start to get down and start to test these areas. And these areas are obviously the market low from April 7th and the lows here leading up to the 90-day tariff pause announcement. Okay. And you got the big move there back to the upside. Okay. So those are your support levels now that you have to be looking at and you have to be paying attention to. I think that the only way for us to really get the markets headed back in the right direction is definitive trade agreements. What do you think the first trade agreement is going to be? I'm going to tell you what I think the first country is going to be, and I'm going to explain to you why. I think the very first trade agreement that we are going to get, and I want you to pay attention to it very closely going forward, is Vietnam. And the reason why I believe that Vietnam, a trade deal with Vietnam could be as imminent as this week, is because we already know that Vietnam was one of the first countries to reach out to the United States. We already know that they were, they said that they would actually drop their tariffs down to zero if we dropped our tariffs down to zero. So you had Vietnam was one of the first countries to kind of come to the table. But what I noticed today was, for some unknown reason, while the S&P was getting the crap kicked out of it, companies like Nike rallied and went green. Nike went green. Nike went green. Nike went green. Why did Nike go green today? Why did Lululemon go green today? Why did Lululemon go green? Why did Nike go green? Why are all these retail companies, these retail stocks that do their manufacturing in that part of the world, why did those stocks go green? Why are we still pushing higher? Why the ES is up 0.7% right now. The NASDAQ is up 0.77% right now. Futures are ripping. Bitcoin is ripping. Why did this just happen? Somebody knows something. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I think that you're going to hear someday this week that there's a trade deal with Vietnam. And that could be what the markets need to turn sentiment around. And once it starts, if you get Vietnam and then you get another country and then another country, and it starts to then domino effect, you can see the markets finally then at that point turn around. And I mean like meaningfully turn around. Not where like one green day and we continue to sell off the days after that. The markets want to feel that not just progress is being made, the markets want to feel like we are rapidly getting new agreements because the market knows it's a race against the clock. Can these tariffs go away? And I know we got a 10% baseline tariff. Maybe that gets negotiated down to a 5% baseline tariff. Maybe other countries would lower their tariffs to 0. So then we bring our tariff down to 0. All of these things are possible as Bitcoin continues to rip now up over 1%. Actually, Bitcoin's actually just ripping face right now. We talked about that on the live stream yesterday about MicroStrategy today and Coinbase today. Coinbase didn't really pan itself out because the markets went down. Coinbase is going to be more correlated to the overall market. MicroStrategy is going to be the one that's really correlated to Bitcoin. So I gave you guys 2 trade ideas last night on the live stream coming into today based on strength in Bitcoin. One of them was MicroStrategy and Coinbase. But for Coinbase, you're going to need the markets to go higher too. MicroStrategy could go up even if the market's going down as long as Bitcoin's going up because there's such a correlation there to Bitcoin. Okay. But, this whole situation here with Vietnam is something that I noticed and that our TGD AI picked up on. So I told you guys at the very beginning of this live stream that we had an award. We have an award-winning AI tool in our TGD AI platform. And it is something that was picked up on in the AI tool with some of that. And, rumors circulating around, on social media and people starting to recognize where did this buying pressure come from in a lot of these retailers. And we're beginning to think that somebody knows something and that a deal with Vietnam is right around the corner. And it's part of our new deep research that's rolling out to all of our members. So we have a new deep research function within our AI tool, aside from the trading assistant, the trading copilot. We also have a deep research and answer engine that's being rolled out to our members. And that's something that I've now incorporated into every aspect of my trading where, every single day I'm using this tool now to make sure that I have the best analysis and the best news. So I'm always in the know about what's going on in the markets and all over the world. And I think at a time like this, there's never been a time that's more important for people to have something like that because there are so many things going on that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. A lot of people don't understand the currency markets. A lot of people don't understand what it means when the dollar is tanking. Like, what does that mean? How does the dollar go down? Some people don't understand that concept. When people talk about bonds are crashing and yields are moving higher, people don't understand what that means or what that correlation is. When China comes out and says something like they said yet last night, people don't understand the correlation, understand what happens and what that means. Using our deep research function with the AI is something that will help you guys not only understand that stuff very quickly, but also provide you actionable insight and trading opportunities to help you make money and take advantage of the volatility that is created from those type of catalysts. And with this environment that we find ourselves in, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It is entirely possible we have a recession. I think every week that goes by, the probability probably ticks up 1% or 2. So I do think that it is a very realistic possibility. And I'm not saying that to try to scare anybody. I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not a doom and gloomer. I just bought stuff on April 7th. Literally, when we opened up down here in the 480s, I bought stuff in my long-term portfolio. I still have some cash on the sidelines, though, just in case we do have a recession, and that's not the bottom. If that's not the bottom, that probably means we have a recession. So if you actually break this bottom, if you actually break this, right? If you break this and can't get back above and do that, then that means the markets are pricing in recession, and the market believes we are having, if not already in, a recession. You have to start to target this area down here, and that would be where the markets probably settle in and kind of find their footing. And I would say probably around 420 would be the bottom, something like that, if you actually did have a recession. But I think it's still possible that you could avoid it as well, which is why I stepped in and I bought stuff on April 7th. But it's all about volatility, guys. It's all about volatility. Okay. The trading environment that we find ourselves in is one of abundance. And I've been doing this, for those that are new, I've been doing this for over 18 years. And I've never seen, that's not a lie, I've only seen an environment this volatile 2 other times in my entire career, 2008 and 2020 during COVID. Those are the last 2 times that I saw markets and individual stocks make this big of a move in such a short period of time. And that just creates more money-making opportunities for us. And like I said, I'm not, me telling you that a recession is completely possible. I'm not trying to scare anybody, and how many people on here are new? If you're not a member of True Trading Group, can you guys do me a favor? Just type the letters TTG, please. Type the letters TTG if you're not a member of True Trading Group. Let me just see who on here is new. Type the letters TTG if you guys are new to the if you're not a member. You're not a member of True Trading Group. You don't have to necessarily be new to the YouTube channel. You could have been a viewer for a while. But if you're not a member, type TTG. Let me see how many people we have in here that are not members of True Trading Group. So again, just go ahead and type TTG for those of you that are not members of True Trading. But then guys, again, like I said before, make sure that you guys are watching this video live. Make sure you guys click the live button at the bottom left of your YouTube screen. Make sure that you guys can actually see the little red dot. Okay, make sure you can see a little red dot next to the word live. Nice, Muhammad says, Mike, I've been watching you for 7+ years, maybe 10 years, and just became a lifetime. It hasn't been 10 years because I haven't had this YouTube channel for 10 years. So it definitely hasn't been 10 years. I think I started this YouTube channel in 2017, maybe. So 7 years is about right. I think we started this YouTube channel like 7. Yeah, I think I started this text message. This YouTube channel in 2017. Yeah. So, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, either way, it's been a while. Well, listen, for those of you that are not members of True Trading Group here just yet, and I see some of you that are with us here today. I know it's getting late, but I want to just show you guys something. I want to show you something, and this is all that matters. If you guys are worried, and again, I told you, I'm not trying to scare you. If you guys are worried, okay, about what's going to happen, if you're worried about trade wars, if you're worried about the dollar, if you're worried about a recession, if you're worried about a laundry list of things that you could possibly be worried about, then the time for you to act is not once all the bad stuff happens and when your back is up against the wall. You hope that your back is never up against the wall. You hope that the bad things don't all happen, and you hope that it's something that we're able to avoid, meaning able to avoid a recession, the market's able to recover, and everybody goes about their merry way. But If you're worried about a recession, that means you're worried about your job and you're worried about your income. So then what you should be focused more on than anything else is not whether or not I can predict the future. It's not whether or not I have a 100% win rate. It's whether or not members of True Trading Group are actually able to make money and supplement their income and or replace their income by being a member of True Trading Group and trading in the markets, whether they're day trading or swing trading. And I'm going to show you what those results look like. Members of TTG that are on this live stream right now, if you are a member, I'd like you to type the number 1 in chat right now if you guys are making money and becoming better traders because of TTG. Just go ahead and type the number 1 in chat right now if you are making money and becoming better traders because of True Trading Group. Go ahead and type the number 1 in chat right now. Those of you that are not members, I want you to pay very close attention to how many people you're about to see type the number 1, because all these people are your friends, your family members, and your coworkers. And if they can do this, then so can you. There is absolutely no reason why all these people can make money and you cannot. They don't have more time than you, and they sure as hell are not luckier than you. If they can do this, then so can you. %82 of these people that are typing number 1 have a full-time job. So I don't want to hear the excuse that, oh, I have a full-time job, I don't have enough time, I can't do this. It's not an excuse. It's not. It's not a valid reason. And if you actually are worried, if you actually are uncertain about what the future lies, then your time to act on it is now. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm going to give you some super special top secret indicator that I learned on Wall Street that nobody else knows about, and I'm just going to bless you with it. It's not what I'm telling you. I paid for my 1-year membership today with 2 trades, short on Amazon and short on Nvidia. Arc angle 8K. Beautiful. Beautiful. Congratulations. That's all it takes. 2 trades, 1 day. You already made your membership fee back. And you're an annual member. Which takes me to the other thing that I wanted to mention tonight to everyone here that's not a member of True Trading Group. Today, what I noticed in the markets was a market that is getting tired, a market that's getting a little exhausted of the back and forth and the updates, and a market that is now demanding results, a market that is demanding deals, firm, not just progress, but actual deals being made. And the markets are getting a little impatient. That's what the markets kind of showed me today. And we have been doing this membership here that I did for people over the last week and a half to where we have about a week and a half. I've been doing it for about a week and a half now, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks. Where the membership to True Trading Group is normally 1 year. That is our business model. It's how we are set up as a company. 1 year memberships. Okay. And I think that there are so many people that have questions, that are scared, that are worried, that don't know what's going on, that want help, that don't want to screw this up. Because I believe the decisions you make over the next 90 days are going to follow you for the next several years. I truly, genuinely believe that. And I want you to be able to make money while markets go down, while you're losing money in your long-term portfolio, make money while markets go down, and then roll that money back into your long-term portfolio when stock prices go low. That's how you set yourself up and you build wealth for yourself, and you're able to buy stocks when markets are down. And then over the next couple of years, as the markets recover, you're able to benefit from it. You're able to actually make money in your long-term portfolio. But you can make money in your trading account, actively trading, whether it's put options or shorting or call options or whatever it is, to the downside as the markets go down right now. And with what happened in the markets today, again, people got nervous and scared because they saw the markets down 3.5%. That's a huge down day. 3.5% without any massive major news catalyst, that's a big deal. That's a big move. We bounced a little bit into the close, but in the middle of the day, we were down 3.5%. The Dow was down another 1,000 points, and people get nervous and people get scared. So I'm going to extend the 90-day membership opportunity for one more night. Okay. I'm going to do it for one more night for people. We've had, I don't know, 160, 175 people that have joined your training group just over the last, week and a half to 2 weeks, because a lot of people have been taking advantage of this 90-day membership. And what it is it's full, complete access to our annual membership for 90 days. You guys can go to ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included for 90 days for just $250. That's it. Our annual membership is normally well over $1,000. You guys can get complete access to the annual membership for 90 days for just $250. Everything on that page is included. It's ttgoffer.com. It's all of our courses, which is a simplified and expanded upon version of what I learned working at the fund. There's Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed, TradingView's premium charting software, the trade idea scanners on our platform for you guys to use, unusual options activity, options flow, dark pool data, short data, congressional trading data. It is all included for you. 1,000 hours inside of our video library, all there for you guys for 90 days for just $250. And there is no automatic upgrade if you forget to cancel. There's no automatic renewal. After your 90 days, you're done. Your membership just expires. If you want to become an annual member, you have to manually process that transaction. It doesn't just happen if you forget to cancel. Okay, it's just 90 days. That's it. No funny business. And if you guys do decide you want to become an annual member, after your 90-day membership is up, we'll work with you. We'll give you guys a price less than $1,000, and we'll actually credit you the $250 that you already paid. I'm not going to charge you twice for it. We'll just give you credit for the $250 you already paid us, knock that off your price of the annual membership, and get you guys hooked up and ready to go for the full year. Again, it's ttgoffer.com. You guys can send a text message if you have any questions, 1-888-621-2127. Again, that is 1-888-621-2127. Phone number is right down there at the bottom of your screen. If you guys have any questions, text that number. Also, if you used to be a member and you want to come home for the 90 days, you also have to text that number. If you used to be a trial member, you have to text that number if you guys want that 90-day membership. Okay, again, it is ttgoffer.com. 90 days, $250. I'm going to extend that offer for you guys for one more night, and then we go back to the full annual membership, which is well over $1,000. Okay, but you guys can do the 90-day membership by going to ttgoffer.com. All right, simple as that. With that being said, let's head on over now. Let's talk about Tesla for a little bit. Tesla has earnings tomorrow, and this stock is testing a major support level. And I got to be honest with you, I'm weary here about Tesla. And I know everybody is. And that's the only thing that makes me weary about being weary. I know that sounds funny, but when everybody thinks something is going to happen, it usually doesn't. But you can't find me somebody that thinks Tesla's earnings tomorrow are going to be good. You can't find me someone that thinks that, which is like the markets work in mysterious ways. When everybody thinks something's going to happen, it rarely does. Maybe tomorrow is this case where it actually does happen. That's what everybody was thinking. But I will tell you this. I'm worried about this support level here breaking. This is a huge support level here for Tesla. We have today, Tesla has fallen back to now where it was prior to the 90-day pause. Okay, so prior to that 90-day pause, the stock is back to where it was. More negative news from Tesla. Every piece of information that has come out on Tesla over the last 4 months has been negative. Today it was the delay of their cheaper Model Y version is delayed, and that's something that people were really kind of relying on, like that cheaper model and getting a cheaper model out, and there's delays on it, and the stock got hit now 5.5% down today. They have earnings after the bell. We have to start to talk about some of these major levels. I'm not here to predict what their earnings are going to be, because I honestly have no idea. And I think it's a fool's game to try to predict earnings, because you got to get their earnings right. You got to get the guidance right. Musk might say something on the conference call that that investors love or investors hate, and you never really know which way it's going to go. So I don't like to guess like that. But if you asked me, I would have to say that I would imagine the earnings would be bad. I would expect them to talk about, them being impacted on tariffs, demand dropping. Demand is dropping in the US, demand is falling in China, demand is falling in the EU. They're losing market share in China. BYD just came out with a $8,000 vehicle that actually has they call it the Eye of God or something, or God's Eye, I think they call it, which is their self-driving technology. And then they have a car that's like $8,000, so you're literally, the competition in Asia is tremendous when it comes to Tesla. And then you have obviously everything going on in the US and Europe with just the brand damage to Tesla via Elon Musk. And I just think that's going to be tough for the company to just guide above and guide through all that and not recognize the slowdown. So I can't imagine the earnings are going to be good. But, I still own Tesla. I own Tesla in my long-term portfolio. I've owned it for many years. I don't plan on selling it, as I do still think Tesla is going to do well in the long run, but the stock might be going lower in the near term. And I think if earnings are bad and you get underneath this 320 level, there's a support level here that I really want you guys to take a look at. And I'm actually going to say this is going to stretch down to like 214. The low from April 7th is 214. And this support level back here from October is also 214. All right. So if you get underneath 214, I have to imagine that Tesla starts to bleed further, and your next key support level is going to be down here in the low 180s. You have support before that, but that's a major level in the low 180s. You have some support, I'd say around like 205-ish, but major support down there in the low 180s. So if those earnings are bad or the guidance is bad, you got to look for the low 180s, I think, for a target over the course of the next, couple of days or couple of weeks. But at least 205, at least, right? So let's look for that level. If you gap underneath it after earnings, the very next day, you look for that level to be resistance. I will go live on this YouTube channel tomorrow to cover Tesla earnings with you guys live. So they report after the bell. I'll go live around 4 o'clock or 4:15. And then we will cover Tesla's earnings live, and we'll go through the trade setup and how I plan on trading that stock the following day on Wednesday. So you guys can have some really good ideas on what it is that we're thinking about there with Tesla. As far as resistance levels, that now the support level is 214. The resistance is going to be up there around 280. And the 280 resistance, and then 290. So, excuse me. So those are going to be your resistance levels. Near your major moving averages, your 50-day moving average is 280 after a golden cross. And then you have 290, 200-day moving average. And those are going to be your resistance levels. So if for some reason there is a surprise and earnings are good and you get a gap up on Tesla, I would expect that level to be resistance. Okay. So those are my thoughts there, guys, with regards to Tesla. That's what I'm going to be looking for with the earnings there tomorrow. All right. Anybody have any questions for me? Questions. Anybody have any questions for me regarding China, tariffs, Vietnam? Yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna get it. We're gonna get some news about a Vietnam deal this week. So why else did these retailers rally like that? Why did Nike rally like that? Why? I think somebody knows something. Why did Nike rally? Why did Nike go green A day when the Dow is down 1,000 points, Nike goes green. Why? I think somebody, and that's after the stock got pulverized, obliterated in the morning. Right? Just obliterated. And then it recovers all the way to go green into the close. It wasn't like it was just Nike. It was also Lululemon. Lululemon also went green. So I just think it's interesting that a lot of these retailers went green today that have that Vietnam exposure. And it's something I'm going to watch very closely over the next couple of days. And I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised. You see something like that. Then all of a sudden tomorrow at 11 a.m., trade deal with Vietnam, announced, and, there's going to be a press conference and here's the news and everything else. So I think that it's possible we could see, and if that's the case, and if you do get that, the markets could bounce. Markets could bounce if you were to get something like that. I do think so. Okay. How much can tariffs affect Amazon? Huge way. Amazon also has major impact, not only from the tariffs, but obviously what happens with the economy and the consumer. So Amazon is a consumer discretionary, and as people, if you do go into a recession, you do have a slowdown, then Amazon is a company that's going to suffer and is going to take a hit. That's why the stock's been getting hit, and that's why Amazon is actually lower than it was before the tariff pause. Amazon's lower now than it was prior to the tariff and the 90-day tariff pause. So there's a huge impact there on tariffs. What influences futures the most? I mean, it's straight supply and demand like anything else, but the thing about futures is you have, it's open at right now. It's 10 o'clock and futures are open and trading, and it allows markets to move, or the U.S. markets to move based on what's happening around the world. If China came out right now and they gave some comments about trade, the futures market's going to move. So it's not about like what influences futures the most. I mean, different things influence futures on different days. It depends on, what the catalysts are. Futures have cooled off a little bit right now. We're only up about 0.5%. We got up to around 0.7, 0.75. Now up around 0.5, 0.55% on the ES and on the Qs. But Bitcoin's still holding strong. Bitcoin's still up almost 1.5%. So still a big move there on Bitcoin. And I think with that move on Bitcoin, you gotta just keep eyes on MicroStrategy. Just continue to keep eyes on MicroStrategy, because MicroStrategy does have room into like the 340s, 350s. So I'm just, if Bitcoin starts to push into the 90s, I have to imagine that you probably see MicroStrategy in like the 340s. Right now it's 324 in the overnight trading session. So it's already $5-6 higher from where it closed. It's currently trading. MicroStrategy is currently trading right there in the overnight session. So will be interesting. But if this I am a little cautious in this rally in Bitcoin continuing, just because there's so much resistance in like the low 90s, and you're pushing into like 88 and change. But there's so much resistance in the low 90s. But if you push into the low 90s, that should get MicroStrategy moving. So we're going to continue to watch MicroStrategy on the watch list for tomorrow. It was on the watch list last night for today. That trade worked out really well today from the analysis from yesterday. Let's see if there's more of that tomorrow with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to be strong again tomorrow, we'll take a look in the morning. And then we got Tesla earnings after the bell. We'll cover it live with you guys. So make sure you set your reminders and join me tomorrow right after the close, as we will cover those earnings for you guys live. Okay. So again, 90-day membership, $250, ttgoffer.com. Again, that is ttgoffer.com. Everything on that page is included for 90 days for just $250. And then after your 90-day membership is over, it just expires. You never charge anything again. There's no upgrade to an annual membership. You have to do it yourself. There's no automatic renewal of the 90-day membership. It just expires when you're done with it. So no funny business. Okay. And like I said, we'll give you a deal on the membership if you want to become annual, and we'll credit you the $250 that you paid to do the 90-day membership. Any questions, text us 1-888-621-2127. Phone number is right down there at the bottom of your screen. Again, that's 1-888-621-2127. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your night, folks. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me late tonight. I know we got a late live stream tonight. We started 9 p.m. So I appreciate you guys kind of hanging out with me. And tomorrow will be much earlier. Tomorrow will be right after the bell when we have Tesla earnings. All right. ttgoffer.com. Last night for the 90-day membership. Okay. Last night for the 90-day membership. Then it's going to be over $1,000 for the full year. Text up with questions. 1-888-621-2127. Have a wonderful rest of your night, folks. Take care.